You woke up this morning. You woke up this morning and ate breakfast. Maybe cereal, maybe eggs, maybe just coffee because you were running late. You didn't think about it, you never do. But breakfast, as a habit, as an idea, as a fixed meal eaten at a fixed hour, is almost brand new. Your ancestors didn't have it. For most of human history, there was no such thing as the first meal of the day. There was only hunger and the search that followed it. The real story of what ancient humans ate is far stranger than granola bars and orange juice. Picture a small band of early humans, maybe 2 million years ago, moving across an open grassland at dawn. They are not eating breakfast. They are looking for anything that will keep them alive until the sun goes down. There is no schedule. There is no pantry. There is only the question that shaped almost every hour of the ancient day. Where is the next mouthful of food coming from? Here's the part that surprises people. Ancient humans were not picky. They were not purists. They were opportunists. Anthropologist Katharine Milton spent decades studying primate and early human diets, and her research points to something important. Survival didn't reward specialists. It rewarded flexibility. A human who could eat roots one week and insects the next, who could switch from fruit to marrow to shellfish depending on the season, had an enormous advantage over one who needed a very specific food to thrive. Think about that for a second. Your ancestors were not eating a diet in the way you understand the word. They were eating whatever the landscape offered, and the landscape rarely offered the same thing twice. So what did that actually look like on the ground? Tubers, first. Roots dug out of the earth with sharpened sticks, often bitter, often needing to be pounded or roasted to be edible at all. Insects, too, which sound strange to modern ears, but were a dense, reliable source of protein and fat, especially termites and grubs, which required almost no hunting skill to gather. Wild fruits and greens when the season allowed. And meat, whenever it could be caught, scavenged, or fought over. This is where things get genuinely surprising. For a long time, the popular image of early humans was the heroic hunter, spear in hand, bringing down a mammoth for the tribe. But a lot of the actual evidence tells a messier story. Early hominins were often scavengers as much as hunters. They followed larger predators, waited for a kill, and moved in to strip whatever meat and marrow was left behind, sometimes using simple stone tools to crack open bones that other animals couldn't access. The bone marrow itself was a prize. It's dense in fat and calories, and fat, not meat, may have been the real reason a scavenged carcass was worth the risk. Why does any of this matter? Because your brain is unusually expensive to run. It uses a huge share of your daily energy just sitting there, thinking, even when you're not doing anything in particular. Anthropologist Richard Wrangham has argued that this expensive brain could not have evolved on raw plants alone. His research on the origins of cooking suggests that controlling fire and softening and pre-digesting food through heat unlocked a level of caloric efficiency that raw foraging simply couldn't match. Cooked food takes less energy to digest and delivers more energy once it's inside you. In Wrangham's view, fire didn't just keep early humans warm. It may have helped build the very brain you're using to understand this sentence right now. So picture the shift. Before fire, food was a constant grinding negotiation with your own body. Hours spent chewing tough raw plants just to extract enough calories to survive the day. After fire, that same amount of food yielded more usable energy in less time. Suddenly, there were spare hours, spare energy, room for a brain to grow bigger and hungrier, because for the first time, the body could actually afford to feed it. But don't imagine this shift happened cleanly, or that early humans landed on one perfect ancient diet. That idea, the one behind a lot of modern eat like a caveman advice, doesn't hold up well under scrutiny. Researcher Lauren Cordain popularized the Paleo diet by pointing to the food patterns of hunter-gatherers, and there's real value in that comparison. Whole foods, minimal sugar, no processed grains, but even Cordain's own broader research shows enormous variation. Arctic groups ate diets that were almost entirely meat and fat. Tropical groups ate diets built mostly around plants, tubers, and fruit. There was no single ancestral menu. There were dozens of them, shaped entirely by what a particular patch of earth happened to offer. That variability is the real lesson, and it connects to something researcher Herman Poncer has spent years measuring directly in living hunter-gatherer communities today. Poncer's fieldwork with groups like the Hadza in Tanzania found something that upends a lot of modern assumptions about metabolism. Despite walking many miles a day and working hard for their food, the Hadza don't burn dramatically more total calories than sedentary people in wealthy countries. Their bodies appeared to adapt, dialing energy use up and down to stay within a remarkably stable range. What that suggests is unsettling if you think about it too long. Your ancient inheritance isn't built for constant, effortless abundance. It's built for scarcity, punctuated by unpredictable feast. And that's the piece that lands closest to home. Your body still runs on hardware built for that unpredictable world. It still craves fat and sugar with an intensity that made perfect sense when those calories were rare and hard-won. It still stores extra energy as fat with impressive efficiency because for nearly all of human history, the ability to store today's surplus against tomorrow's famine was the difference between a family that survived a bad season and one that didn't. Now look at your kitchen or your phone with a delivery app open on the screen. The scarcity that shaped your body's cravings is gone. The signal that once meant, eat this, it might not come again, is still firing every single day in a world that has more food sitting within arm's reach than any human who ever lived could have imagined. That's the strange truth sitting underneath your breakfast. It's not really about breakfast at all. It's about a body built by 2 million years of uncertainty, now living inside a single afternoon of certainty. You're not weak for wanting the sugar, the fat, the easy calories. You're ancient. Your instincts are doing exactly what they were built to do, in a world that no longer asks the same question your ancestors spent their whole lives answering. So tomorrow morning, when you reach for breakfast without even thinking about it, remember what that habit is standing on top of. It isn't a modern convenience. It's the echo of a hunger that once decided everything.